Are Lori Vallow's children really safe? Well, that's what her husband, Chad Daybell, reportedly told ABC as he was getting ready to board a plane from Hawaii to Idaho over the weekend. Now, Vallow is in custody. She is being transported to Idaho to face charges of child endangerment. Her two kids, 17-year-old Tylee and 7-year-old JJ, have not been seen since September. According to friends, Vallow and Daybell are part of a doomsday cult. Besides the missing children, authorities are also investigating 3 suspicious deaths possibly connected to the couple. Both of their spouses and Vallow's brother ended up dead shortly before the two got married last year. Lori Vallow is scheduled to be back in court this week in Idaho. It's not clear if she has already been moved or if she's being moved today, maybe tomorrow, but she is expected to be in court. Here to discuss this fascinating case with us is Tracy Connor, executive editor of the Daily Beast. And Tracy, I want to start with, we see these cases come up every now and then that gets people worked up. And this one is, man, one of those. Why is it that so many people outside of Idaho and the area where this is taking place are so interested in this case?
Well, I think in your average missing persons case, there's just kind of one mystery, where is the person? But in this case, we've also got a couple of dead spouses, a dead brother, an unexplained shooting. And so there's a lot of strands of this web to untangle.
Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell have, what's their deal? I mean, he's an author. He's written a bunch of different strange books talking about the end of the world. What is going on there?
So he claims to have had some near-death experiences when he was younger, and he sort of has parlayed that into this career as a writer of novels that are all about apocalyptic themes and doomsday. And it seems like Lori, when she was married to her husband Charles, started reading those books and became super interested in this ideology that he has, and eventually kind of joined him in this community of people who I guess, for lack of a better word, you might call doomsday preppers.
So Lori is married to Charles. She then he's killed by Lori's brother. What happened?
That's right.
Yeah, what happened there? So it was some sort of fight, self-defense?
Yeah, so they were estranged at the time. Charles was becoming increasingly concerned about Lori's dabbling in this doomsday stuff, and they ended up kind of separating. She had the kids. He went to the house where she was staying to see the kids, and according to what she and her brother Alex Cox told police, Charles became physical, and Alex had no choice but to shoot him in self-defense. And that's sort of where things stood, but that is, of course, now under new investigation.
Yeah, they're going back and looking at that again. Over the weekend, Chad Daybell says to an ABC News producer, apparently at the airport while he's getting ready to fly from Hawaii to Idaho, the kids are safe. What does that mean? There's no indication of that, is there?
Well, I mean, it's the million-dollar question. I mean, he says they're safe, but where are they? He has not provided the media, certainly, with any information. He's been asked repeatedly and has just said no comment. And more importantly, he hasn't cooperated with the police or prosecutors on that question.
The search for the kids, of course, has been going on since September. There's talk of going to Yellowstone once the snow melts to continue to search for JJ. What do we know about the whereabouts of the kid there, where they were last seen and where the search efforts have been concentrated up until this point?
So there are reports that the last time that Tylee was seen was on a trip to Yellowstone, which is why folks are interested in Yellowstone. And then JJ was last seen, I think, September 23rd, and he's kind of stopped going to school at that point. So certainly both have been missing since mid to late September.
There's surveillance video of a storage facility where it appears as though she's coming in and holding what they appear to be totes, but very heavy totes. Who's all in that video? It's Lori, they believe, but is there positive IDs on the males?
No, there's not positive IDs. There has people think it's Alex Cox, her brother, is one of the people, and they've been in that storage shed, and it's sort of a lot of stuff, but among it is a lot of kids' belongings, toys, and stuffed animals, and these sort of keepsake blankets that the kids had, and so folks are wondering why all that stuff would be in a storage bin if kids do the kids not need them anymore?
Right, and that is a huge question. What is next here in terms of because really with, the kids are missing, the investigation is at this point where they went ahead and arrested her, and she's
Right.
facing child endangerment, 2 felony counts in Idaho. What's sort of the strategy for investigators here during this period of time where they're still looking for these kids with, assuming no cooperation from mom or stepdad?
Well, I think Idaho authorities just kind of want to have her back in Idaho, where the investigation is centered, and so um, getting her charged with child desertion and contempt of court enables them to bring her back to Idaho. Interestingly, the FBI showed up yesterday with a mobile command unit, so it seems like they are definitely going to be involved here as well.
Mobile command, so they're obviously involved in probably a big part of the strategy here is to separate the two, right? Daybell and Vallow, because that may crack, because family members say that Lori Vallow was a super mom just a year ago, 2 years ago.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's interesting to know at the moment they appear to have one attorney. There's a local attorney in Idaho who has put out a single statement since this whole saga began on behalf of both of them. So at this point, we don't know if they're going to have the same representation or different lawyers. We'll find out in the next few days.
And she is expected in court this week. Is that still the plan? But even though we don't have any indication that she's made it to Idaho.
Yeah, authorities have not given a firm timeline on that because, they need to organize flights and all this stuff to get her moved from one place to another safely. So there isn't an exact timetable, but it seems likely that it would be this week sometime.
All right, Tracy Connor from the Daily Beast. Tracy, thank you for your time and your insight on this case that we are all watching very intently.